I swear, I'm everything in this house. I truly am every woman.
Everything bothers him.
He's unbothered.
He calls it unbothered, but that's what's cute because everything bothers him. He's bothered. I'm a botherina.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Unbothered by Thai Rivera. That's right, it's Unbothered by Thai Rivera. I'm your host, Thai Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Snoopy Bijou is currently enjoying a Whimsy's Alligators. Whimsy's Alligator, the never-to-be sponsor of Unbothered by Thai Rivera, but we still give him a shout-out, and we still put our Amazon affiliates link for Whimsy's Alligators down below in the description box. Get into it, get over it. I don't care what you do, just do it. I really am every woman in this household, and I know some people would be like, wait, you're not a woman. I know that, you crazy bitch. I don't actually think I'm a woman. I just joke that way because I'm a fag and I'm very secure in my sexuality. Jesus Christ. I don't think people get that sometimes. Like one time I posted about something and I said that I was a woman, and then somebody was like, can you believe in 2019 this is what passes as a woman? Shut up, bitch. I'm not gonna go join women's sports. I'm just having a little bit of fun with the fact that as gay men, every once in a while we take license and we call ourselves women. I don't think I'm a woman. I would never want the life of a woman. I can't deal with periods. I only made it to the 9th grade. My punctuation has never been the best. Haha, you get it? Anyway, thank you everybody that gave me 9-volt batteries. Miss D and Freddie Correa, namely, but there were others that gave me 9-volt batteries. I get it. My alarm was beeping. I recorded another episode for last week, but I didn't actually post it because I felt like it was too toxic. And I know that some people would think that I'm all the way toxic, but really, I do think about karma, and I do think about the way that I want things to come back to me. And anytime you see me post something that seems like toxic, just know that I've actually thought it through and checked it out during editing. Because when I say I'm every woman in this house, I really do mean that in the way that I do everything to do with Thai Rivera. Whether it's performing, writing, editing, personal training, driving, every single thing that happens to make this machine run is 100% me. There is nobody helping me behind the scenes on any level, and I've said that before, but I don't think people understand the full extent. Tonight, for example, earlier today, we had this situation because maintenance here is horrible, and this is supposed to be a luxury apartment, but I forgot that in Vegas, any shithole that you can stuff a Roman tub into is a luxury apartment. That's the way it works here in Vegas. And sometimes I forget that, and I feel like, look, if you're going to call yourself a luxury apartment, then behave like a luxury apartment. Like if this were truly a luxury apartment, I wouldn't have had to wait as long as I did to get that smoke detector fixed, which, to tell you the truth, they didn't even end up fixing the smoke detector. I went ahead and climbed on my dresser and was like, I guess I am tall enough to reach this, and I went ahead and changed the battery out. So that happened. Then there was a situation that happened with the water heater where the water heater wasn't working properly. That took them coming back and forth for 4 days to figure out that situation. Technically, it was 4 appointments, but it was spread out over 7 days. So there was that. Then there's this situation with my sink, my bathroom sink, which is my own bathroom, because the way that we've divided the apartment up is my room is its own separate thing, obviously. It's a master bedroom. It has a master bathroom in it. And I know that it's supposed to be racist to say master bedroom and master bathroom, but as long as I don't refer to my roommate's room as a slave quarters, I don't see the problem. So anyway, it's divided up that way. So she has her bathroom and her room, and then I have this bathroom, and this is obviously my room. And I have mine set up like a living room, so I really don't have to be in the living room very much. I'm very rarely in there unless it's to cook, which is obviously the kitchen and the dining room. But outside of that, I pretty much just hang out in my room. So what happened is tomorrow's going to be day 7, and I finally had to level with them and be like, look, you're costing me money because the amount of content that I'm editing and recording right now is truly ridiculous. And anytime that they knock on the door so that I can let them in so that they can do the stuff that they have to do, which I do have to be here for it because obviously it doesn't get done right the first time, which is something that I'm very not used to. Even in non-luxury apartments, I've never had this problem with maintenance where maintenance truly doesn't know what they're doing. It makes no sense at all. people that they send people into my apartment that don't know what they're doing. One of the maintenance guys tried to tell me that my faucet on my bathroom sink doesn't actually seal properly, and it's not gonna seal properly because that's just the way it's made. So anytime that I flood it, because obviously when I'm spraying down the counter, I'll use Kaboom for that. Not sponsored, but I'll use Kaboom for that. And then obviously to get all the Kaboom cleaned up, I take everything off the counter and I just flood it with water so that I can just get all the excess soap off of there, or detergent, or whatever you would call Kaboom. Get all the Kaboom off of there, let's say. Kaboom, kaboom, shalada-da-da-da-da. It's shaboom, shaboom. But anyway, you get the point. Maybe I'll be in charge of their marketing jingle. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and obviously wet all that down so that I can get all the soap off there. And then it'll flood into the cabinet itself, like underneath. And he tried to tell me that that's just what was going to happen. And I was like, no, that's not just going to happen. That's supposed to be fixed. And then he tried to tell me that that's just the way it is in all sinks. I was like, in all sinks? I've lived a lot of places and this has never been a problem before. And then he was like, well, some places it's very little and some places it's a lot. Like some places you won't even notice it. Okay, well, I need you to get me to the I don't even notice it phase. That's where I need to be. Right now, it's literally flooding. Like I haven't been able for the last 7 days to put anything under my counter, because if I put anything under the counter and something happens, then it gets completely wet and it does truly flood. People don't understand. I use the words I use for a particular reason. I don't use words just to sound flashy. I use words because those are the proper words to use. So when I say flooded, I mean flooded. I mean everything down there gets wet. The bottom is, and it's a mess, right? Which, on the point of using the proper words for the proper things, I remember one time I was dating this guy that was always trying to class me up in some way and didn't understand that I use the words because they are the proper words. And I was talking about a friend of mine and I was like, yeah, my friend Andrea, she used to be a whore. And then he was like, you mean a working girl? And I was like, no, you dumb bitch. I mean a fucking whore. I mean a, hey, can I get a date kind of bitch. Like the kind of bitch that jumps from car to car like a hooker. I mean an actual fucking whore. When I say a whore, I mean a whore. I've known working girls. I've been a working girl. This was not a working girl. This was a whore. And so when you use certain words, they're for certain reasons. I very rarely use the wrong word. I'm not going to say it never happens. I only made it to the 9th grade and I'm from Casa Grande, Arizona. But I'm probably not the dumb bitch most people think I am. But don't tell the internet that, because I like to play off of that. 100%. I will not lie to you guys. I will not act like, oh, this is just completely an accident. No, sometimes it's fun to have everybody think you're stupid. It's very liberating. Smart people have to do way too many things for themselves. I am dumb and I should not have to do a lot of things for myself, because dumb people shouldn't have to do a lot of things. That's the way I feel about it. And the world really seems to agree. And the world really does seem to agree with me, though. I mean, seriously, I get let out of a lot of things. It's like, this dumb bitch isn't going to be able to do it, so might as well not even ask them. And that's where I like to be. That's where I like to have it. That is my safe space. So anyway, when I was talking about everything that I have to do, the way that my life has had to work really has been ridiculous, especially over the last couple of weeks, because I put out 3 shorts every day, except for today. I gave myself the day off because I was experiencing a little bit of burnout. There was another day when I was on the road that I was only able to put 2 out on one of the days, and that's just what it had to be. But I really have been doing really well with making sure that I get everything out the way that I'm supposed to get out. Unbothered and Comedy Tip Tuesday last week didn't happen, but that's because I had so many things going on and I really didn't have time for the editing. And like I said, when it came to Unbothered, when I really thought about it, because I haven't even looked at it yet, but when I really thought about the things I said, I was like, that might be a little bit more than I want to sign on for right now, because I don't really worry about the toxicity in the way of any consequences or anything like that. That's not the way my thinking works. Sometimes I think, do I want to have to stand behind these words? Do I actually want to have to defend this, so to speak? And sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes it's like, I'm not in the mood to argue with anybody right now. I'm way too busy. I'm not in the mood to deal with phone calls. I'm not in the mood to deal with text messages, because that is one thing that I've told you guys that I'm very open to, and I am very open to it. That's one thing anybody that's ever dealt with me will tell you. Like, nobody has trouble getting me on the phone if they want to talk to me about something I've said about them. There are people that that have fucked up, and I choose not to talk to them because they fucked up. And it's like, well, I don't have to choose to talk to you because you want to apologize to me, and maybe I don't need the apology. So no, you're not going to get a hold of me. But if I say something about you and you feel like I want you to answer for this in some way, well, you might not like the answer I give you, but you'll get one. You definitely will get to talk to me. Like I said, I had one friend get mad at me because of something I said about him on Facebook, I believe it was. It was when Alex Elkin had said something that made it sound like he was calling black people monkeys. And it was in reference to some Black Lives Matter people going after him for a post that he put up. And I still haven't ever aired the Alex Elkin interview, and that's just because I still need to look at it completely. But at the time, which this has already been a couple months ago now that we did this, at least 4 or 5 months ago, I just felt like he was bullshitting me. And that's not what this podcast is about. Like, I'll put up with a lot of things from a lot of people, and I do ask people to come on and tell their stories and to get unbothered when they feel like it. But if I feel like you're bullshitting me, then I'm not going to play it, because I feel like the audience, you, my botherinas, are going to be like, no, this isn't what we watch for. We watch for people to actually tell us their story. Now, there are times where people will lie to themselves and they feel like they're telling the truth, and that's completely acceptable, because I'm not here to be anybody's sobering moment. Maybe when they watch back later, it'll be a sobering moment for them, and I do hope that for some of these people. But it is not my job, and I'm not going to make it my job to start pressing people and be like, well, this is what you need to see about yourself. No, I don't care what you see about yourself. I just want to hear you tell me what you think the most authentic you, or the most authentic version of the story that I bring you on to tell is. And so I felt that way about Alex, and I said something where it was either on Facebook or possibly it was on my podcast. Anyway, he caught wind of it, and it's not exactly hard to catch wind of things that I say, because I always say them on the platforms and in the places where the people that need to hear them will hear them, or the people that I want to hear them will hear them. And so he called me and he asked me about it, and he didn't really like my answer about it, because his thing was, he ended up calling out his friends, you know, who are comics that happen to be people of color, I think is the way he put it, and was like, I noticed none of you are coming to my defense right now, and believe me, bitch, take note. Because that's what he was saying, was that he was gonna, you know, take note of that. Take note, because I'm not supporting you, because you have made it seem like you think that black people are monkeys. And while I don't agree with Black Lives Matter on a lot of things, when you say, or if you were to say that, hey, I don't like that Black Lives Matter pulled this particular tactic on me, and you call them out in that way, then that's something I would have been like, yeah, maybe I don't agree that they should have done you like that, or this should be a particularly big thing this way. That's something I would have your back on. But if you even imply that you think that black people are monkeys, I'm not jumping in. As a person of color, I'm not jumping in. I don't care what kind of friendship you think we have. We don't. In that way, I'm not going to come to your defense, and it's just because I don't stand behind your words. And if that's not the kind of thing I would say, or that's not the kind of thing I would stand behind, then I'm not going to stand behind it. So you can be mad at me all you want, and you can call me and your other friends out about it, but it's just not going to be a thing. And so he called me, and I told him exactly why. And then he said something about, you know, that, because he tried to go, like, don't ever go on the freedom of speech rant with me. Don't ever give me your representative. I talk to real people. I don't talk to people as representatives. And by representative, I don't mean his management. I don't mean his agent. I mean, he was giving me his public persona, which when it comes to a lot of my friends I've known for years and years. Like Alex Elkin specifically, I think we've known each other for 18 years now. I do like him, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like him. I don't like what he said in that instance, and I wasn't going to stand behind it. So for me, it was very much a thing of, no, I'm not just going to have your back on this. I'm not just going to blindly follow you. You need to understand that when you call somebody like me out on that, there might be a clap back to it where I'm like, yeah, I'm not standing behind you, and this is why. So if you want to take note and act like, well, I'll remember this another time, remember it. Write it down. Tell a friend. Call your mother. Oh, tell your mother, though, that my niece really did like the pot holders because during pandemic times, his mom was selling pot holders as like a way to sustain herself during COVID times, and I went ahead and bought some. So you can tell your mother that while you're telling her that I didn't support you on that particular statement. But I have no hard feelings towards Alex Elkin. I have no hard feelings towards almost anybody because, like I said before, I just let things out in the moment and then I feel like, done with that. But I was talking about the amount of content I'm putting out and the way that I'm working myself right now. And tonight, for example, so it took them forever. Sorry, Bijou's dying in the other room. If you didn't just hear that little cough, here she comes. This little dog gets cuter every day. I swear, I am so in love with this dog and we become better friends every single day. But anyway, so they had to fix the bathroom and they worked on that. Tomorrow they have to come back and completely or finish the job because I had to show them where it was really leaking from because they fixed one of the leaks and then there were other leaks. And so I had to show them all of that. So tomorrow, God willing, that should be done. So that took up until like 5 p.m. Then I had to take my little Snoopy Bijou for a walk. Then after that, I had to edit 3 stories, which I do that on the couch. Then I had to make my dinner. Then I had to bring myself, like immediately after making my dinner, I had to wash my dishes, obviously, which dishwasher still, I guess, whatever with that dishwasher. And I'm not going to call maintenance about it because obviously they can't do anything right. I'll try to cut them out as much as possible, try to use them as little as possible. So then I had to do my dishes, and now it's something like 1 a.m. and I'm recording Unbothered so that it can be out tomorrow. That's the other thing I had to do before I took Bijou for her walk was I had to edit the Comedy Tip Tuesday for this week, which is about being honest with yourself and your friends when it comes to stand-up comedy. And so I had to record that. I had to edit it. I had to do all of that after they left. I wasn't able to record that until after they left, so I had to record it, edit it, upload it, and then there's all the tagging that you have to do. It's a whole process. So I've just been dragging myself from one part of the apartment to the other to do the things that I have to do, and at a point it does get very exhausting sometimes. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's the worst thing in the world because I'm not digging ditches, which I did dig ditches for the cable company when I was super young, younger than I should have been. They made me lie about my age. Well, didn't make me. I wanted to make that Skrilla, and that's what I had to do in order to get the job. Was the guy knew that I wasn't technically old enough to be doing that. I was 17 and you were supposed to be 18, or maybe I was 16 and you were supposed to be 18. Who knows? Who remembers? I would say probably 16. I was an underage bitch doing the most, but I want to make that bread. So I had to lie about my age, and I was digging ditches in the Arizona heat in the dead of summer. And that job I didn't last for too long at, not because of the heat, not because of the intensity of the labor, but because at one point, because I wasn't familiar with how to rake gravel, the guy grabbed the rake from me and started doing it himself and started calling me stupid and asking me if I was stupid and literally berating me. And I felt like, do you think you're talking to your wife right now? Because that's not what's happening. So I went ahead and jumped in my little truck. At the time I was driving a Chevy S10, jumped in my little truck and went home. And I never forget him being like, the hell's the matter with you? I'm like, I'm just done with this job. So I will come and pick up my last check, and that better not be a problem. I better just get my check, and this job is done for me, or I am done with this job, or however you want to put it. I was done. So it's not exhausting like that, but at the same time, it is quite exhausting. And the other day, I talked about this. This was just yesterday now that I think about it. I swear, days feel like they take forever because I pack so much into a day right now. But yesterday, I was at the gym, I was running, and I was really experiencing, because when I run, the impact and the bouncing does really hurt my hernia. And as much as I've tried to grit it out and just be like, I'm gonna wait on this because I don't want to stop going to the gym, because I don't want to stop doing spots, because I don't want to do blah blah blah, I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this appointment. And I already had my consultation with this particular doctor. He's the doctor that I want to go with because he does no mesh, and I know that only, I think it's 20% of people that have mesh have problems with it, but I don't want to be part of the 20%. I don't want to risk being part of the 20%. And if I can avoid having to have a foreign substance in my body and just have them use my own tissue to do it, then that's what I'd much rather have. So I went ahead and called the doctor, and I thought it was going to be at least a month or something like that before I got an appointment or before I was able to get my surgery. And instead, the lady was like, we can get you in next Wednesday. And then I had some lady on Facebook that was like, make sure you check everything. And I wouldn't use a doctor in Clark County because Clark County is littered with lawsuits and whatever, I'm not going to say this bitch, even though this bitch, because it's like, I'm already going to go through a surgery. I already have enough playing on my brain. I don't need you stepping in and being like, are you sure you checked him out? And it seems weird that he has appointments this close. I mean, like, bitch, I get it. But at the same time, I have a good friend that's gone to him for, I believe it's 4 different surgeries. Maybe it's 5 surgeries. This friend is a friend I really do trust. This friend is not, I don't want to use the phrasing incorrectly, but he's not necessarily the healthiest guy. And so he has extenuating factors when it comes to these kinds of things. And he really trusts this doctor. And if a person, this is the way I see it, and this is my thinking. If a doctor is really good at dealing with people that are, say, in a higher risk category, and then I go in as healthy as I am, this doctor is going to do a great job for me because I don't have all the extra circumstances that, say, my friend has. I looked at reviews online. I looked at the way he does the surgery, because he also has a video of him doing the actual surgery, the exact surgery that I'm having, the hernia surgery, no mesh. He never uses mesh. He's a big detractor, I guess you could say, of mesh being involved in hernia repair. So he's the guy to go to. As far as I go, he's definitely the guy to go to. And as far as him having appointments so soon for surgery, I would imagine that probably has something to do with the fact that he's a no insurance surgeon. So you just have to pay for it up front. So when you're that kind of doctor, I would imagine that not everybody just has the money to get what they want done at the time that they want to do it. So I would imagine there are some cancellations, and I would imagine, especially with what we've all been going through with COVID, that there are definitely people that just can't do it right now. And right now, I have the time, I have the means. So why would I not do it? Anyway, my point is, this woman jumps in on my comments and she starts saying all these negative things, and I really had to be nice, and I did handle it in a diplomatic way, but there was a huge part of me that felt like, what the fuck's the matter with you? What do you think we're arguing right now? Or what do you think exactly is happening? Because I personally wouldn't put any negative suggestions in a person's head if they're having any kind of surgery or any kind of medical treatment, and maybe something might play on their brain a little bit. And I do believe in the power of thinking, positive thought and negative. So why are you trying to inject negative thoughts at this particular time? Why would you do that? It makes no sense to me. But I've given up on understanding people because most people are stupid. Most people are truly stupid. And if you're watching right now, congratulations. You now know that I think you're stupid. Next time, don't chime in telling me what you worry about. If you were worried so much, send me fucking money, bitch. That's what I say. Worry means shit to me. Worry means nothing at all. Send me money. If you feel like I should have it done by somebody else, I can tell you what it is I'm paying. If you want to go ahead and take care of that, then you can give me that amount of money in cash. Send it to me. Cashier's check works. I'll give you my address so you can send it directly to me. Have a carrier bring it over. Maybe you don't trust your cashier's check with the USPS. I don't blame you, especially since Cindy, my friend Cindy, we've had a lot of problems with USPS both ways. Me sending stuff to her, her sending stuff to me. USPS is nobody's friend. But if you want to go ahead and send me the money for it, you can send me the money and then I'll go find a doctor. Or let's do it this way. You pay for a consultation and to get me out of Clark County because you said I should go to UCLA. So you figure out how much it'll cost for the consultation as well as the surgery itself and my travel back and forth and somebody to take care of me in LA because they're going to want me to stay at least overnight and then have an appointment. So pay for my hotel room on the consultation. I'll do you one better. On the consultation, I'll make that a turnaround trip. LA's only 3.5, 4 hours away, 5 hours with traffic. I'll deal with the traffic, drive out there. You know, you don't have to pay for me to fly out there for my consultation. I'll drive out there for my consultation. You can pay for the gas. And then after I'm done with the consultation, which you've paid for, then you should be fully prepared to pay for my surgery up front so that I can get it done as soon as they can possibly put me in. Then I'll listen to your "this is what worries me." Otherwise, you're not worried. You're just a person bitching on Facebook. And there's a billion of them. Literally at least a billion people bitching on Facebook. You're another one. Stop it. So yeah, that's where I'm at on all of this stuff, which I know sounds extremely bitchy, but I'm so tired of having to be or being expected to be nice to people that don't think before they speak. I may be a bit of an asshole, but when I like somebody, I definitely do think before I speak. I definitely do think before I type anything. There's times where I want to say negative things that I consider to be good advice or helpful to people that I like, but sometimes I'm like, do I really need to send this to them, or is this just me trying to virtue signal in some way, or trying to lord over them, or act like they're supposed to have a particular feeling about a particular thing just because I feel a particular way about it? And if the answer is even kinda that I might be doing that kind of thing and just trying to kind of lord over them, then I'm gonna just go ahead and skip it all together. Sometimes I'll type out the full comment just to make myself feel better, and then I'll completely make it blue and make it disappear. That's the way I do things. And you don't have to do things like me, but at the same time, don't get in my way. Unless you're part of the solution, don't worry about the problem. I said on Facebook, I was tired of dealing with pain. I was super happy that they got me in so quickly. And with me, I feel like a lot of stuff is fate. So if I feel like something feels good and my pendulum says that something is right, which if you guys don't know, I started fucking with the pendulum now, which mine is made of malachite. Angie Crum gave it to me when she did my hair. Angie Crum didn't do the haircut. I got that done at a barbershop in Arizona because I was just tired of having all that extra hair and I don't have time for it. And if I want to, I'll grow it back again and grow it even longer like it was back in the day. But I just don't know if I want to have that much hair again. Like, that's something I really do think about. And when I was growing it this last time, I was like, this is just a lot to manage right now with the amount that I want to go to the gym and the amount of things that I'm doing. The last thing I need is that much hair to manage. And the only way for me to actually do it is to put it back in a ponytail. That's the only way to do it where it's like quick, because my hair is so wavy and it is such a problem sometimes that I really started to feel like, well, what's the point of having this much hair if I'm not actually going to wear it down? So I went ahead and got it cut. And then Angie always does the color for me. Well, you know, she's been doing the color for a while now, and I really like the job she does. And she's also super fun to talk to. She's super talented. She's a very funny person. I've talked about Angie before. She's from Arizona as well, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's one thing that I really do like about her. She's from Arizona. So as far as the conversations that she and I have, we have very good conversation because it's like that we're both from the same place type of, you know, it's, we both, there is something to be said for when you come from the same place as a person. You know, there is something to be said for you feel like home to me. And so I like talking to Angie, and she's also a little bit witchy, which I can relate to. Like, we both believe in tarot cards. We both believe in stones. We both believe in a lot of things that truly religious people would probably say that we're devil worshippers for, which, child, please. Just playing. But I mean, like, honestly, if I were worshiping the devil, I'd tell you guys that just like anything else, but that's not the case. Personally, I think that a lot of the things that have been kept from us by religion, because while I do believe in God, I do not believe in religion, but a lot of the things that have been kept from us by religion have been so that we will rely on people that are not necessarily the most trustworthy and just want to take our money rather than use our own resources and have everything come from within. So that's the way I feel about a lot of those things. And with the cards, like I've told you guys before, as far as tarot cards go, I just really feel like they're a good way of gauging where it is I am personally, and kind of what, because I always just do a little 3-card spread, and some people would say that's past, present, and future. I just see how it relates to me and how it relates to what I'm doing right now. So for me, all 3 cards are present, all 3 cards are future, and all 3 cards are past. So I just read the cards and I see what it is they're actually about. Some of them I have kind of memorized, some of them I don't. It's something that I'm new to as far as me actually reading them. I've been to plenty of tarot card readers in the past, but I always felt like, well, what if I had my own cards and what if I did my own reading? There should be nothing more accurate. If you believe in the cards in the first place, there should be nothing more accurate than you doing your own. So that's what I started doing, was doing my own. So I look at things and I look at how they relate to me. When it comes to the pendulum, I don't know exactly how that works, as far as I need to look into it more, but it really is kind of a cool little situation, because the pendulum will swing in different ways, and when you ask it things, it will give you the answers. Like with my pendulum in particular, when I ask it a question and it means to say yes, it'll start swirling. And then if I ask it to say no, it'll start going back and forth. Then if I ask it something and it says I don't know, it'll just completely dead stop on me. And so it really is kind of weird, because like you'll notice it doesn't just do the same things, and you will ask it things, and sometimes you don't like the answers. Maybe I'll try it for you guys. I don't know if it's shy about being on camera, which might sound like a weird thing, but I can try it real quick and see if it'll work for you guys. So here it is. Dead stop, right? All right, let me get it. And you want it to sense your energy. Okay. Do you feel like answering questions right now? See it swirling? Give me a no. Now you see it go back and forth. That's a no. Give me an I don't know. Are people going to like this episode of Unbothered? It says yes. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing it does. And it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I don't know exactly how it works. Anyway, that's just me letting you guys into my world a little bit. So, like I was saying, everything is great, and I'm going to get my surgery next Wednesday, I believe it is. I think Tuesday is my pre-surgery appointment, and then Wednesday is my actual surgery. So wish me luck on that, you guys. Stay unbothered.